Thank you, Hong Kong Philharmonic Orchestra and conductor Mr. Andrew Ling, for bringing us a spectacular performance. And what a wonderful start to today's event, the Shaw Prize Awards Ceremony 2022. Welcome, laureates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Leon Ko, your host for today, presenting from the Shaw Auditorium at the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. This year, we're celebrating the 19th anniversary of the award, a very memorable year that concludes the second decade of the prize. For yet another year, we're greeting each other here with a screen keeping us apart. But if there is anything we have learned over the past 2 or more years, it is that we are very good at adapting to a new mode of life, creating an even more connected environment in the virtual world. Today, in a slightly different format, we are honoring the outstanding contributions of 6 laureates from across fields and disciplines, spanning from the creation of an extraordinarily precise map of our galaxy to discoveries that alleviate sufferings caused by a fatal genetic disease, and advancements in mathematical theories that have transformed various branches of the discipline. To begin with, let's welcome Professor Reinhard Gansel, Chair of the Board of Adjudicators, for the opening address. Professor Gansel is the director at the Max Planck Institute for Extraterrestrial Physics, Germany, and he was the Shaw Laureate in Astronomy 2008 and a winner of the Nobel Prize in Physics 2020. Professor Gansel, please.
Welcome to the 19th Annual Shaw Prize Award presentation ceremony. In 2002, Sir Run Shaw and Miss Mona Shaw established the Shaw Prize to honor scientists in the fields of astronomy, life science and medicine, and mathematical sciences. The inaugural award ceremony took place in 2004. In the ensuing years, the Shaw's entrepreneurship and philanthropy inspired the quest for new knowledge, highlighted outstanding achievements, and became a major force for progress in the world. We are proud to be able to continue the founding vision of Mr. and Ms. Shaw in promoting scientific discoveries whose beacons of truth and long-term contributions to society only shine brighter in these difficult times. Unfortunately, travel restrictions during the pandemic again forced this year's Shaw Prize presentations to be a virtual ceremony. This year, we honor 6 scientists in the 3 designated fields for their distinguished contributions. They are Professors Leonard Lindegren and Michael Perriman in astronomy, Professor Michael Welch and Dr. Paul Negulescu in life science and medicine, and Professors Noga Alon and Ehud Shrushkovsky in mathematical sciences. In the name of the Shaw Council and the 3 respective selection committees, I would like to convey our warmest congratulations to all laureates for their fantastic achievements.
Thank you, Professor Gansel. We are also very honored to invite the Chief Executive of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, the Honorable John Lee Ka-chiu, to say a few words for us.
Dr. Raymond Chan, Shaw Laureates, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased and honored to take part in the 2022 Shaw Prize Virtual Award presentation ceremony. For nearly 2 decades now, the Shaw Prize Foundation, based here in Hong Kong, has managed one of the world's most coveted annual awards. The Shaw Prize celebrates distinguished achievement and significant advances in 3 disciplines: astronomy, life science and medicine, and mathematical sciences. Shaw Prize winners are selected by a board of adjudicators and selection committees, which comprise 19 prestigious academics, scientists, and researchers from renowned institutions in 10 countries and regions. They have chosen 6 Shaw laureates whose inspiring work reveals what can be accomplished in the lifetime pursuit of scientific excellence and societal progress. My congratulations to each of you. your seminal achievements serve as role models for the next generation of scientists here in Hong Kong and all over the world. They reaffirm, as well, my government's commitments to science and to innovation and technology at every level of our education system and in every sector of our economy. Hong Kong is blessed with the support of our country's national 14th five-year plan in developing into an international innovation and technology hub. To achieve this mission, we will work hand in hand with other cities in the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area to expand the scale of our outstanding research platforms. We will build up a healthy INT ecosystem that attracts global experts and nurtures our own talents. I'm grateful to the Shaw Prize Foundation and its remarkable dedication to advancing our world through science. This year's Shaw Prize recipients brilliantly illustrate the profound value of your vision. I look forward to the opportunity of welcoming our laureates in person and sharing with you the exciting developments of our INT scene at the next presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. And now, let's start with the first prize category, the Shaw Prize in Astronomy. This year, the award goes to two astronomers, Professor Leonard Lindegren and Professor Michael Perriman, who have made lifetime contributions to space astrometry. To learn more about this branch of astronomy and the remarkable works of the two laureates, please join me in welcoming Professor Scott Tremaine, Chair of the Selection Committee for the Shaw Prize in Astronomy and Professor at the University of Toronto, Canada, and the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, USA. Hello, Professor Tremaine.
Hello, Leon.
Can you please tell us more about astrometry? What does it study, and what is the history behind it?
The history of astrometry goes all the way back to the dawn of humanity. For tens of thousands of years, humans have watched the stars and planets and how they move. The quantitative study of these motions is the oldest scientific discipline, and written catalogs of stars and their positions date back all the way to the Babylonians. Since the invention of the telescope, star catalogs have grown dramatically in size and accuracy. However, by the late 20th century, the measurement of stellar positions, often called astrometry, from ground-based optical telescopes encountered insurmountable barriers to further improvements, arising from the atmospheric distortions that make stars twinkle, small distortions of the telescopes themselves due to their own weight and to time-varying thermal stresses, and the difficulty of stitching together data from telescopes in different continents that see different parts of the sky.
I can already imagine how challenging it was. So how were these obstacles overcome?
Soon after the launch of the space age in the 1950s, astronomers recognized that a space-based telescope could do astrometry far more accurately than any ground-based telescope. But it took more than 2 decades before the first astrometric telescope, called Hipparchus, was launched by the European Space Agency in 1989. The successor to Hipparchus, called Gaia, was launched in 2013 and is planned to operate at least until 2025. Both Gaia and Hipparchus are based on the same design principle, a pair of telescopes pointing approximately at right angles, whose fields of view are combined on a single image. In contrast to an imaging telescope like the Hubble Space Telescope, which points in a fixed direction and takes long exposures, the Hipparchus and Gaia's telescopes spin slowly across the sky and measure the positions of stars by the times when they cross a fixed grid on the image field. Despite this similarity in design, Gaia is far more powerful than Hipparchus, producing a catalog that's 10,000 times larger and 100 times more accurate. The capabilities of Gaia are astounding even to professional astronomers. The Gaia catalog contains almost 2 billion sources, stars, galaxies, and quasars. Gaia can measure changes in the positions of stars as small as the size of a teacup held by an astronaut on the moon and motions as small as the rate of growth of the astronaut's hair.
Wow. Well, the level of accuracy is astonishing. And how important are these measurements to the study of the cosmos at large?
The measurements produced by Hipparchus and Gaia provide fundamental data that underpin almost every aspect of modern astronomy and astrophysics. Astrometric distances are used to calibrate all distances in astronomy and form the foundation for measuring the size of the universe. Accurate distances to stars allow us to measure their intrinsic luminosity, and this in turn is a sensitive probe of their internal physical processes. Measurements of the velocities of stars allow us to infer their galactic orbits, which in turn provide insight into the formation and history of the Milky Way and the distribution of the mysterious dark matter within it. Gaia will also provide a rich harvest of ancillary astronomical results, including an all-sky survey of the brightnesses and colors of 1 billion stars, light curves of hundreds of thousands of variable stars, thousands of newly discovered extrasolar planets, a survey of asteroids and other small solar system bodies with unprecedented detail, the discovery of hundreds of thousands of distant quasars, and stringent new tests of Einstein's theory of gravity. Hipparchus and Gaia succeeded because of the sustained collective effort of hundreds of researchers, managers, and engineers over the past half-century. The 2022 Shaw Prize in Astronomy is awarded in equal parts to two of these individuals, Leonard Lindegren and Michael Perriman, for their lifetime contributions to space astronomy and for their role in the conception and design of these two missions. The award is also intended to honor the much larger community that made Hipparchus and Gaia possible.
Thank you, Professor Tremaine. Almost 9 years into its mission, Gaia is still operating to create the most comprehensive and precise map of the Milky Way, enabling us to look at our home galaxy as it is today, but also to unravel the secret of its past and future. It is my great pleasure to invite two of the masterminds behind Hipparchus and Gaia, Professor Leonard Lindegren and Professor Michael Perriman, to deliver their acceptance speeches. First, let's welcome Professor Lindegren, Professor Emeritus of Lund Observatory of the Department of Astronomy and Theoretical Physics at the Lund University in Sweden.
It is a great honor for me to receive the Shaw Prize in Astronomy 2022, jointly with my colleague and friend Michael Perriman. I am deeply grateful to the Shaw Prize Foundation and the selection committee for this wonderful recognition of our work. My fascination with space and astronomy was triggered in 1957 when, at the age of 7, I heard the news of the first satellite launched into orbit, Sputnik 1. I remember building rockets out of paper and cardboard tubes, collecting newspaper clippings, and reading every book on the subject I could find. As I grew older, my parents encouraged my interest in science and gave me a small telescope and a microscope. My father was a photographer and gave me some old cameras which I disassembled and tried to attach to the telescope. This gave me my first lessons in optics. Another interest was meteorology, where for several years I kept meticulous recordings of the daily weather conditions, temperature and air pressure. My ambition at that point was to become a meteorologist. At university, I studied mathematics and physics. On my third year, I took an optional course in astronomy, which made me realize that this is what I really wanted to do. As a young PhD student in Lund, I met Erik Höeg from Copenhagen University, who became my mentor and future colleague. In 1976, he prompted me to apply as a member of a new study team set up by the European Space Agency to study a possible space astrometry mission. From that time on, I have been constantly involved in various ways, first in the Hipparchus mission and then Gaia. During much of this time, Michael Perriman and Erik Höeg have been two of my closest associates. It has been an extremely interesting, intense and rewarding journey to follow and to be able to contribute to these fantastic missions all the way from their beginnings to scientific fruition. It has been a great privilege to have worked with so many brilliant and dedicated astronomers, engineers and data specialists. To all of these people, to my partner Mikael, who has been my constant support over more than 35 years, and of course to the Shaw Prize Foundation, I say thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, Professor Lindegren. Now, a warm welcome to Professor Michael Perriman, Adjunct Professor at the School of Physics at University College Dublin, Ireland. Professor Perriman, the floor is yours.
I started out on my scientific career with a mother passionate about education and a particularly inspiring school teacher, excited by the beauty of mathematics. I had the benefit of an undergraduate degree in theoretical physics in Cambridge and later a PhD at the Cavendish Laboratory there. A series of opportunities led to me being appointed at the age of just 26 as the chief scientist for the European Space Agency's Hipparcos mission, a new European initiative to map the positions and motions of 100,000 stars from space. The success of Hipparcos led to a much bigger follow-on mission, Gaia, launched in 2013, and which is today close to completing a 10-year experiment to measure the distances and motions of 2 billion stars, a significant fraction of our galaxy's entire star population. My task for both missions was like being a conductor in an orchestra. I played none of the instruments, but I had the big picture and carried the responsibility of what we wanted to achieve scientifically. Like all space missions, Hipparcos and Gaia presented a continuous series of difficult challenges, technological, organizational, financial, and political. And my task was to solve them in collaboration with my scientific colleagues across Europe, project managers in the European Space Agency, and talented engineers in European industry. We start out on our scientific careers driven by curiosity. We don't set out with the thought of receiving wider recognition by our peers. But when and if it arrives, we remain conscious and proud of our many colleagues who accompanied us on this long journey of discovery. And I'd like to make special mention of my wife, Julia, for her fantastic support throughout all this time. My colleague, Lennart Lindegren, and I are today most grateful to the Shaw Prize Foundation for this prominent recognition of our lifetime's contributions. And I hope that by occupying this platform to talk about our work, about the excitement of scientific inquiry, about the importance of education, the pursuit of excellence, and of international collaboration, we can inform and excite others about the magnificence and complexity of our universe. And perhaps, most importantly, we can inspire young people who follow in our footsteps to dream, to be bold, to pursue knowledge, to innovate, and to collaborate. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Perriman. That is very inspiring. The founder of the Shaw Prize, Mr. Run Run Shaw, once said, "The greatness of mankind lies in their ability to pursue, disseminate, and enrich knowledge. Our gratitude goes to all who have contributed to passing the torch of knowledge from one generation to the next." Now, let's move on to the next category, the Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine. Today, we're honoring two scientists who have made landmark discoveries that have saved thousands of lives from the suffering of a rare disease called cystic fibrosis. Let's welcome Professor Bonnie Bassler, Chair of the Selection Committee for the Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine, to tell us more about it. Professor Bassler is the Squibb Professor and Chair of the Department of Molecular Biology at Princeton University, USA, and also a 2015 Shaw Laureate. Hello, Professor Bassler. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Leon.
So we know that cystic fibrosis is an inherited disease that is life-threatening. But what causes it and how does it affect the body?
Cystic fibrosis, or CF, is one of the most common severe single-gene disorders, affecting more than 80,000 people globally. The single gene in which the disease-causing mutations fall is called CFTR, for cystic fibrosis transmembrane conductance regulator. The CFTR protein ensures the proper flow of chloride, a component of salt that is present in secreted body fluids such as sweat, saliva, and mucus. These fluids keep cells lubricated and are vital for the proper function of organs. In CF patients, these secretions become thick and sticky, and rather than acting as lubricants, clog passageways, especially in the lungs. The disease is fatal. There are many different mutations in CFTR that cause the disease, but a mutation called F508del is particularly important and is present in about 90% of patients.
Well, the identification of the CFTR gene and the disease-causing mutations is groundbreaking. And I believe this is where our 2022 laureates, Professor Michael Welsh and Dr. Paul Negulescu, step in.
You are right, Leon. Michael Welsh from the University of Iowa discovered that the CFTR protein is a chloride channel, and he revealed how its activity can be regulated. He corrected the CF defect in culture cells by providing a normal CFTR gene, thereby showing that correcting the defect was a feasible therapeutic strategy. In extraordinary studies, Welsh then demonstrated how different CF disease-causing mutations affect the CFTR protein. Some eliminated its production, some interfered with its trafficking to the cell membrane, and some prevented the opening or function of its chloride transporting channel. Welsh categorized the different human CF mutations according to mechanism, and he laid out a scheme to correct each type of underlying defect. Importantly, Welsh showed that the CFTR protein with the common F508del mutation has multiple defects. The protein did not reach the cell membrane and was also defective for chloride transport. Very crucially, Welsh discovered an experimental condition that enabled CFTR F508del protein to make it to the membrane. And he showed that when the protein did reach the membrane, it functioned.
Ah, I see. So that means if a therapeutic strategy could be developed to get CFTR F508del to the cell membrane, it would be beneficial in combating the disease?
That's correct. Welsh's discoveries provided the needed groundwork for Paul Negulescu from Vertex Pharmaceuticals to make the leap from mechanism to therapy. He and the Vertex team discovered small molecules to treat CF by embarking on an enormously risky strategy of screening for compounds that could fix a defective protein. Moreover, because there are many different CF-causing mutations, it was not clear that one medicine capable of treating the majority of CF patients could be developed. Negulescu first discovered a CFTR potentiator that stimulated CFTR channel function. This medicine, called Kalydeco, received breakthrough designation. However, Kalydeco was useful only for the subset of CF patients with certain rare mutations, not for the vast majority of CF patients with the CFTR F508del mutation. In an even more bold effort, Negulescu then screened for molecules that could correct the trafficking defect of the CFTR F508del protein. Remarkably, he discovered such a molecule, a protein corrector. He combined the new molecule with Kalydeco, now named Orkambi. He improved on Orkambi twice more, combining 2 protein correctors with a potentiator to make Trikafta, approved in 2019. Trikafta helps patients with the CFTR F508del mutation and patients with 177 rare CF mutations. Currently, 50% of all CF patients take Vertex CF medicines. The combined contributions of Welsh and Negulescu represent the complete biomedical arc from basic discovery to application to the saving of lives. They are especially worthy of the Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine.
Thank you, Professor Bassler. Decades ago, many patients with cystic fibrosis were not expected to survive into their adulthood. Decades later, not only are we unlocking more and more mysteries of the disease, we're also seeing many more patients being benefited by the new advancements in CF therapies. We are pleased to invite the first laureate, Dr. Paul Negulescu, who is the Senior Vice President and Site Head of San Diego Research at Vertex Pharmaceuticals Incorporated, USA, to deliver his acceptance speech. Dr. Negulescu, please.
I am honored to receive the Distinguished Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine alongside Dr. Michael Welsh for discoveries leading to treatments for cystic fibrosis. As the first scientist to be awarded the Shaw Prize for work done in the pharmaceutical industry, I am truly humbled. I am grateful to the Shaw Foundation and the Selection Committee for recognizing the contributions of both basic and applied sciences to the discovery and development of new medicines. In granting this award, the Selection Committee celebrates the journey from basic research to therapies to treat the cause of CF. I'm honored to share this award with Mike Welsh, whom I've known for 25 years and whose scientific insights, collaborative spirit, and support have meant so much to the field and to our work. I would also like to acknowledge the team who discovered the CFTR gene, including Jack Reardon, Francis Collins, and Lapchi Choi. Without their achievements, our work would not have been possible. It has been a privilege for me to be part of the cystic fibrosis story for over 20 years. When we began our research, most people thought that discovering medicines to rescue the defective CFTR protein would be impossible. I learned the importance of taking risks to try what has never been done and the satisfaction of working with others to accomplish a shared goal. The path from basic research to a new medicine is long and requires a dedicated and supportive team. I am grateful for the early support of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and Vertex for the CF program. And I'm honored to represent our Vertex team, including Frederick Van Gore, Sabine Hadida, the late Peter Grutenhuis, and so many others who have worked tirelessly over the last 2 decades to bring these CF medicines to patients. I also share this award with the entire CF community, including scientists, physicians, caregivers, advocates, and most importantly, people with CF and their families. I'm so very grateful for their wisdom and endless inspiration. I learned about CFTR from scientists and about CF from patients and their families. There's an inscription on the Shaw Award that translates as, "Grasp the law of nature and make use of it." I hope that by understanding how nature caused cystic fibrosis and by applying that knowledge to treat the disease, we have all lived up to that profound and meaningful challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, Dr. Negulescu. Coming next, let's welcome Professor Michael Welsh, Professor of Internal Medicine, Pulmonary, Critical Care, and Occupational Medicine. Professor of Neurosurgery, Neurology, Molecular Physiology, and Biophysics, and Director of Papa John Biomedical Institute at the University of Iowa, USA. Professor Welsh, the time is yours.
I'm deeply honored to accept the Shaw Prize with Dr. Paul Neglescu. I thank Mr. Run Run Shaw, Mrs. Mona Shaw, and the Shaw Prize Council, the Board of Adjudicators, and the Selection Committee. I was so excited to receive the news of the prize, and that got me immediately thinking about the research that has strikingly improved the lives of the people suffering from cystic fibrosis. When I was a young faculty, if you picked up any medical textbook and turned to the chapter on cystic fibrosis, the first sentence invariably began, "Cystic fibrosis is a lethal inherited disease." How do we get to the breakthroughs that are the basis for this award? Well, for me, it began with incredible mentors. When I was a medical student at Iowa, after we made rounds on the clinical wards, Dr. Kai Salicati talked about medical discoveries. I realized that I wanted to be as excited about my work as he was with his research. Dr. Frank Aboud asked me questions that made me think. He gave me early research opportunities, and he has supported me ever since. Drs. Don Heisted and Ray Frizzell taught me research approaches and methods that I continue to use. I have also tremendous colleagues that I have benefited from. For work recognized by this prize, I especially thank Dr. Alan Smith and his colleagues at Genzyme. They were wonderful and essential collaborators. I'm enormously grateful to the people with cystic fibrosis. They participated in so many of our studies, even though they knew that they might not benefit themselves. I am only sorry that these advances did not come sooner, because we've lost too many of these outstanding and generous individuals. I am humbled by knowing full well that so many trainees contributed to this work. Their fantastic creativity and enormous energy accelerated the research and ensured we were on the right track. I'm incredibly grateful to them. I also feel privileged to be at the University of Iowa, where I've had so many wonderful opportunities. I thank several organizations that funded our work. I'm especially grateful to the Howard Hughes Medical Institute. Their support allowed me to pursue whatever research direction I chose. The National Institutes of Health and the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation supported this work. The Roy J. Carver Trust and John Papajohn also provided support. Finally, none of this would have been possible without my family. They've given me their love and their support through challenging times, long days and long nights. I'm forever grateful to each of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Welsh. Every footstep leading to where we are today is worthy of applause, and we are very much looking forward to the ongoing scientific venture that we are sure will bring us to an even brighter future. In science, some search for answers that explain time before and after us from beyond our planet. Some uncover the mechanism of nature for the betterment of life, and some solve abstract problems to enhance human intelligence. This brings us to the last category of today, the Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences. The laureate laureates of this year are two mathematicians who have contributed to discrete mathematics and model theory with interaction, notably with algebraic geometry, topology, and computer sciences. Let's invite Professor Hélène Hainaut, Chair of the Selection Committee for the Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences and Einstein Professor of Mathematics at the Mathematische Institut of the Freie Universität Berlin, Germany, to introduce to us the intricate works of the laureates. Bonjour, Professor Hainaut.
Bonjour, Mr. Ko.
This year, the prize is awarded to two laureates focusing on two different areas of mathematics. Should we start with Professor Noga Elan's work on discrete mathematics?
Of course. Discrete mathematics is a study of properties that can be counted in a numerical system 1, 2, 3, in opposition to continuous mathematics, which studies continuous or differentiable functions on spaces. Noga Elan has made profound contribution to discrete mathematics with notable applications to theoretical computer science. Some of his results interact with algebraic geometry and with algebraic topology. We mention two of Elan's many results. Hilbert's Nullstellensatz, perhaps the most foundational result in algebraic geometry, describes all polynomial functions that vanish on the zero set of finitely many polynomial functions. Elan's 1999 combinatorial Nullstellensatz studies a special case in which the zero set consists of a large box. His formulation has led to powerful results in extremal combinatorics, graph theory, additive number theory, and combinatorial geometry. The Hadwiger-de Brunner PQ problem, a generalization of Haley's theorem, solved in 1992 by Elan and Kleinman, studies the intersection of a family of compact convex sets in which amongst any P of them, they are Q with a non-empty intersection. It is at the core of convex set theory and found additional applications in discrete and computational geometry.
And what about Professor Ehud Hrushevsky's work on model theory?
The mathematical logic axiomatizes of various areas of mathematics. Within it, model theory studies the formal language which underlies a mathematical structure. Ehud Hrushevsky has made profound contributions to model theory with application to a broad list of topics in algebraic geometry and group theory, as well as in combinatorics and number theory. We mention two of Hrushevsky's many results. A topology on a space, a notion due to Cauchy and Gauss, is the data of closed sets with certain properties. Zariski defined a topology on algebraic spaces by declaring that the zero sets of polynomial functions are the closed sets. Hrushevsky and Zilber in 1993 characterized the Zariski topology through a collection of combinatorial properties based on the notion of dimension. It enabled Hrushevsky to prove the model length conjecture in positive characteristics on algebraic spaces defined by polynomial functions over generalized concurrence fields, and on which it makes sense to add points. One can characterize those subspaces on which it still makes sense to add points. The notion of a group, due to Galois, describes the symmetry of mathematical objects, in fact, all the symmetries. The subsets respecting the symmetries are called subgroups. Approximate subgroups are those subsets which miss by very little in a precise way the symmetry property. They were studied in additive combinatorics started from 2012. Hrushevsky drew parallels between, on one side, those approximate subgroups and certain structure in model theory, on the other side. This was crucial in the proof of fundamental theorem of Breuer, Green, and Tao on the structure of approximate groups. Noga, Alon, and Hrushevsky have made remarkable contributions to discrete mathematics and model theory with interaction to algebraic geometry, topology, and computer science. The methods they developed have become the basis of many further developments in the areas of mathematics that they have profoundly shaped.
Thank you, Professor Eno. The groundbreaking works of the two laureates have produced substantial and beautiful abstract theories, as well as a range of remarkable applications. Not only do they introduce ingenious ideas and powerful tools from classical theories, they also provide new approaches and insights to solve important classical problems. Let us first invite Professor Noga Elon, Professor of Mathematics at Princeton University, USA, and Baumritter Professor Emeritus of Mathematics and Computer Science at Tel Aviv University in Israel, to deliver his acceptance speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to thank the Shaw Prize Foundation and its founder, Sir Ranran Shaw, for their support of fundamental research. It is a huge honor to be awarded the 2022 Prize in Mathematical Sciences, and I'm delighted to share it with Udi Hrushevsky, whom I know and admire for many years. I became interested in mathematics at an early age, fascinated by the experience of thinking about mathematical puzzles and by the objective and universal nature of the subject. I work in discrete mathematics, the mathematics of finite objects, and I like in particular its connections and interaction with other areas, including probability, number theory, geometry, and mainly theoretical computer science. Already in high school, I met Paul Erdős, whose results and problems had a profound impact on my research interests. I completed all my education in Israel, BSc at the Technion, Masters at Tel Aviv University, and PhD at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. This gave me the opportunity to meet a wide range of researchers and fellow students, including some who became close collaborators. After graduating, I spent 2 years in MIT and then returned to Tel Aviv University until 2018, when I moved to Princeton. Much of my work has been on applications of tools and techniques from discrete mathematics to the study of problems in theoretical computer science, additive number theory, combinatorial geometry, and information theory. Modern discrete mathematics has recently become a central and mature mathematical discipline, relying on deep, well-developed tools, and I wish to thank the Shaw Prize Committee for the recognition of the subject. I'm sure the area will keep its spectacular growth, and I hope to be able to continue contributing to it. I want to thank my PhD supervisor, Micha Perles, who taught me the importance of concise and precise mathematical writing. Over the years, I worked with a large number of excellent collaborators, and I wish to thank them. I also thank my past and present superb graduate students, and I'm indebted to Tel Aviv University and to Princeton University for providing a perfect working environment. Finally, I thank my family, and in particular my wife Nurit and my 3 daughters, Nili, Natalie, and Narkis, for their love and support. Thank you.
Congratulations, Professor Elon. And finally, let's welcome Professor Ehud Hrushevsky, Merton Professor of Mathematical Logic at the University of Oxford, UK, for his acceptance speech.
I'm immensely happy and proud to receive with Noga alone the Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences. I'm very grateful to the Shaw family and the Shaw Prize Foundation for their vision in creating this extraordinary prize, and overawed by the list of mathematicians who were the previous recipients. In the mid-1980s, when I joined the field, Sharon Shelach had just completed his classification theory program, designed to answer an apparently abstract question, to determine the number of different models a given theory can have in uncountable cardinalities. This guided his discovery of a sequence of profound dichotomies, allowing for increasingly deep structure theories. Other ideas were injected by Boris Zilber, governing the fine structure of theories where this number is always 1. A different part of the discipline, pioneered by Tarski and Robinson, put many significant areas of mathematics on an axiomatic footing, in contrast with Gödel's undecidability results for arithmetic. It turned out that these could be combined to shed light on questions as concrete as solutions to polynomial equations. A number of extended collaborations were very meaningful to my life in mathematics. Even beyond direct joint work, I was very lucky to join groups guided first and foremost by a common respect for the depth and beauty of our subject matter. This was true of the cohesive and highly active global model theory community, of the logic group in Oxford that I now belong to, and of the mathematics department in the Hebrew University in Jerusalem that was my home for 25 years. To a graduate student, the geometry of mathematics appears tree-like, hyperbolic. It takes years to learn the basics of your field. Other branches diverge at the start and seem forever inaccessible. But mathematics is made from ideas and is only weakly reflected by formal statements. The exponential growth of the tree of propositions is tempered by an equal number of interconnections and interpretations. It is at first a great surprise and always a great joy to find the same idea or the same question shared by many fields with entirely different foundations. I'd like to view this prize as a recognition of the part taken by model theory in this common movement. I feel very fortunate to have been chosen as its representative.
Thank you, Professor Hruchowski. We too feel very fortunate to be able to highlight the illustrious achievements of yours and your fellow laureates. The beauty of basic science lies in the pure curiosity that fuels the never-ending quest for knowledge. Sometimes, along the way, scientists make unexpected discoveries, making way for unexpected applications. But be it the seed or the fruit of scientific advancement, we're all deeply indebted to every contribution that is dedicated to making our world a better place. It's almost time to wrap up today's event. Before announcing our upcoming events, let's welcome to the stage Hong Kong Phil and Mr. Ling again for the closing performance. Thank you, Hong Kong Phil and Mr. Ling. Just like music, science is creative, it's beautiful, it's magical. The Shaw Prize Awards ceremony 2022, it's coming to a close. There are many people and parties to whom we owe a great debt of gratitude. In addition to the Hong Kong Philharmonic Orchestra, we would also like to thank our venue partner, the Shaw Auditorium of the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, for providing such a wonderful stage for today's event. And a massive thank you also to everyone who is joining us today online. If you would like to learn more about this year's Shaw Laureates' work and their academic journey, please do not miss the online Shaw Lectures and the Shaw Prize Exhibition 2022 at the Hong Kong Science Museum, both happening tomorrow. Please visit our website for more details. We're very much looking forward to your continued support and participation in the coming year, which will be a very exciting year as we celebrate the 20th anniversary of the prize. Stay tuned and see you next year.